3 of 3 on our fancy list. Go check out the best traps, best hand traps, and the tier list for the upcoming format. Come play in Dragon Rider games to play in some really good online testing tournaments for different formats: Rogue format, current format, future format, Master Duels, best of 1, best of 3, EDO Pro, Nexus, Dueling Book. We have something for everybody. Expensive tournaments, cheap tournaments, app, you name it, we got it. And let's go ahead and jump right into it. The last two we did in about 5 minutes. Let's do it one more time. Cards are already pre-organized into categories that they fit. So what are some of the best staple cards you can play going into this format at this point? We are also working on underrated cards for the format and the best 5 engines that you can play in just about any deck. So hit that subscribe button, check out those videos, go see the ones we already talked about, and watch this one through. So if you're looking for effect negation, Forbidden Droplet is few and far in between. By far, it is clear cut the best one to be playing. That's why it's so expensive. There's just not a whole lot to say about it. Droplet's just really, really strong. It can help you OTK, break boards, do all those good things. Dark Ruler No More obviously can help you break boards, and if you don't care about winning that turn because you can set up your own board like most current tier 1 decks, Dark Ruler No More is a pretty strong card. Forbidden Chalice is a very budget Forbidden Droplet, and because it is budget, it's also nowhere near as good, but you can out one of your opponent's negates mid-combo, so you can start playing, they try to negate you, you chain Forbidden Chalice, and you can let your card resolve, negate their card, and do those things. I did consider putting Mystic Mind down with other, but I put it up here in effect negation because more often than not, this card is used to break monster boards, so it's kind of like an effect negator. Lays that blanket effect negation, but it doesn't really negate, you just can't activate. So again, I'm putting it here, but don't quote me as literal negating effects because it does not. Card everyone thought should get hit. I personally am on the fence. I wouldn't mind it going to 1 personally, but I don't know. It's fine at 3 too at the same time. Some good removal options. I tried to put these in a order of effectiveness of what I think as far as how you should play them. Evenly matched. If you're going second deck, you should main deck this card. People do not respect it enough going into game 1, and a lot of decks put up maybe 1 Omni negate, so you just gotta bait that, force it, chalice it, droplet it, dark ruler it, etc., and then drop evenly matched and force your opponent into a really weird situation. Otherwise, like I said, a lot of people just don't respect it game 1 especially. Otherwise, it is a very strong going second side card. Feather Duster is the best back row removal because you can have cards on board when you do it. Lightning Storm you cannot, so it comes in just behind Feather Duster, but otherwise you can also double up hit monsters or back row. Most people will summon stuff in defense, or they just don't care that much, but it is very good, effective removal. Kaijus are very good. Outside of Flounderies, you're probably not going to see too much wind statues, so I wouldn't worry too much about playing the wind Kaiju. But if you just need any of them, you might as well play it because it's not going to hurt, unless something like the Doggeron and Dino, because it's searchable, Jizukiru and Cyber Dragon, because it's searchable, things like that. But otherwise, Gamma Steel's kind of the go-to as far as Kaijus. Cosmic Cyclone, really good removal because it banishes, because so many cards float, so many cards can be added back, so many cards have destruction, protection, things like that. So banishing, very good with Cosmic. Pankrotop, special summoning a big body that can quick effect pop something. Obviously, that's really strong as well. Twin Twisters is more often than not a break even. There are decks that can plus off of it, or they have grave effects, or they can float, so they can make a little better advantage of it. But hitting 2 cards as a quick spell is very strong. Alpha's at 3, Pankratops is at 1, but Alpha still comes in behind Pankratops. Not too many decks are going to play it, but it is another solid option. Some other cards that you could play, the pot cards, whether that's Desires, Rip at 1, Sorry Grand Maju, Yashan, Brock, all the other players out there. Prosperity though, Extravagance. Pretty much any deck can play one of those 3. Which one can you play? Unfortunately for most, it's Prosperity, and it is out of budget. There is not a direct replacement. Sorry about it, but there is just not a direct replacement. One of the closer things would be triple tactics talent, because if you get hand trapped, you can at least draw two. If your opponent tries to negate something, you can steal a monster, link it off, and start comboing. Talent is a pretty strong card, and I do like it. I think hand traps are a little less popular this format, whereas before I think like 8 to 10 was probably more standard. Now I think we're going to see closer to that 6, 7, up to 9 range in most decks. So a few hand traps less. Called by the Grave, a little bit worse than Talents, just because it's, helps you play through hand trap. But I just said I don't think they're going to be as popular. Crossout Designator, I'm kind of curious to see if this card sees more play. I think it's just waiting on the right format, and I don't think it's this one. However, I think it's a little bit better than last format, so who knows, we'll see. If you don't have your playset yet, go pick it up, because it's not really going to stay cheap forever. Eventually it will go up. Maybe it dips a little bit from now, but I don't know. I think it's a pretty good time to go in on it. These are some of our staple cards. Make sure you consider hitting that subscribe button again. Go check out our best traps video. Go check out our tier list video, and stick around for the best 5 splashable engines in Yu-Gi-Oh! Thanks for watching, guys, and until next time, take care.